Well, hey everybody, it's 3 p.m. and it's time for dinner with Nanny Bubby. And I'm so excited because today I am making fresh tomato sauce for the very first time. And if I back this up just a little bit and tilt you down, you can see I have barrels and barrels and further more barrels of tomatoes. Here we are right here, even more. And there's another big colander full over there on my kitchen table. I started picking these on Friday, and I just like when I took those tomato plants and took them down next to nothing right before the freeze in January, I think it was. I did the same thing because, as you know, oh, the sound is very bad again. Okay, I am so sorry. Give me just 1 minute. Um, I guess it's these headsets. Give me 1 second. Okay, the headsets are off. How's that? Hey, Teresa, how are you? Nice to see you. I hope you can hear me. I'm just checking sound. I think I'm done with those headsets. Would you guys agree? I think they're just terrible. I don't know what happened to them. And with everything going on in the kitchen, much better. Hey, Lene. Thank you. Nice to see you. Okay, Teresa's here, and I want to tell you, Teresa and Lene. So, Lene, did you get your cheese basket from Wisconsin Cheese? And Teresa, we got confirmation that yesterday your apron was delivered to you. So I know thanks, Roseanne. I know that up in we know where you're at. Sometimes the mail doesn't, it says confirm, but it's not actually to you yet. So, okay, Lene hasn't gotten hers. I'm sure Frank hasn't gotten his, but hopefully you'll get it this week. If you don't have it by Wednesday, will you please let me know, and I will reach out to them. Teresa, check your mail. Yes, Teresa got it. Okay, so Teresa's got hers. The other two of you are waiting. All right, so I'm making fresh tomato sauce, and what I did is I showed you I have barrels and barrels of tomatoes. Hey, Cynthia, nice to see you. And what I've just been doing for the last hour is separating out all the ones that are ripe and ready to go into the pot, and all the ones that needed to stay just another few minutes. And I started out with exactly with what Lucy's recipe said, which was to saute my onions in the jalapeno olive oil from Temecula Olive Oil Company. And the strong jalapeno, I mean, it's like doing cumin or any of the red peppers. It really, you can smell that jalapeno, because as we learned, they don't just infuse their oil, they actually press it. So let me just turn this down and take a drink here. So I've been separating them, and we're going to take about 4 cloves of garlic, and we're going to smash these and get these in. Now, I don't like putting smashed garlic into anything. I always dice it, and the reason that I do that is that eventually somebody is eating the sauce and they get the whole clove of the smashed garlic, and that is just not pleasant. That taste of a whole clove of garlic, cooked down or not, is way too much for anybody to manage. So I like to go ahead and smash them and get the skins off. Can you all see that? I'll move this forward. And while I'm doing that, and while I'm cutting tomatoes, I have some great announcements. So we've got a tournament coming up. We've got a Gather with Nanny Bubby tournament coming up. I'm so excited about it. I guess tournament, contest, whatever you want to call it. This was Teresa's idea, which we loved, and then yesterday Roseanne and Teresa and I drilled down on it and put it together. So we're going to be doing a summer barbecue tournament. How does that sound? If you guys like that idea. Oops, let's see. Yeah, my watch, because I'm so sorry, but because I was pounding, my watch said, have you fallen? Is this an SOS call? And do we need to call 911 for you? So the answer was no. I'm fine. So, okay, that was kind of crazy, wasn't it? All right, so it's a summer barbecue tournament. And this week, we're going to be posting pictures of snacks and or appetizers that you would make or put into a barbecue. So for all of our summer barbecues, this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 week tournament, and we might extend it because someone might come up with other ideas. But it is basically snacks and appetizers week 1. Week 2 is salads. Week 3 is main courses. I'm just reading because I wrote this all out. Week 4 is side dishes. Week 5 is dessert. Hey, Frank. Week 6 is cocktails, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. And this is all summer barbecue. So here's the rules of the game. Frank, you need to listen up on this. It has to be what we're all cooking fresh, or ideas that we have that we're doing right now today. So post pictures and or recipes that you're just beginning to cook, different things. And this week it's appetizers. And what I'm going to do is on Friday, everybody that posts a picture or has an idea that you write up and take the time to write up in Gather with Nanny Bubby, on Friday, that enters you to win. So you could, enter as many as you want, as long as they're not out of your cookbook, Frank. If you're home and you're cooking, that's great. Or if you're out on the road and see something, but it has to be fresh. We have to be putting things in fresh that we are doing this week. And this week is appetizers. And so on Friday, after you all put your entries in and make your post and gather and chat with everybody and talk about their recipes, on Friday I will be picking the winner of this week's appetizers and snacks for a summer barbecue. And then you who wins on Friday will have the opportunity, if you would like, to cook it with me on Zoom for everybody on Wednesday. And if you're camera shy and you don't want to be on Zoom with me on Wednesday, if you're a winner, then I will just cook it and you can make comments in Nanny Bubby when we do it live. So that way, if anybody's really camera shy and doesn't want to get on Zoom and actually cook it along with me or give me instructions on what to do and talk me through it, then every week we'll have a winner. Every Friday for 6 weeks we'll have a winner. And every Wednesday you will get to cook it with me, whoever that winner is. And then when we're all done in the 7th week, we're going to do a drawing for the 7 people or the 6 people who won. And one of them is going to get a big Temecula olive oil gift right from me, right? So we've got to win every week, and the winners of that week get to go into a big barrel, and they will win Temecula olive oil. And in fact, that winner will design what they want in their box along with me. So I'll get on the phone with you and talk about it, no matter whether you're from Las Vegas or whether you're from New York City, which we have so many people from New York City who join us every day. So let's start. I am sweating these onions with the jalapeno olive oil. Hey, Sue Plattner, good to have you here. And now I am going to take these tomatoes. Now what I've decided is the San Marzano tomatoes I am going to puree. And the cherry tomatoes I'm going to dice. We're going to make a combination of both. So I'm going to start, I've got this garlic ready to go in, but I do not want to put the garlic in until the tomatoes start going in because I don't want the garlic to burn. And sometimes garlic can burn if you put it in for more than a minute before you start adding the liquids. So let's find my tomato slicing knife. This is a Cutco knife, which is serrated on the edge. It does really well with tomatoes. I'm going to place this here so you can see me cutting. And I'm just going to dice these up, which is going to be very laborious because you have to do it one at a time. That I'm just kind of cutting them in 4s. Here we go. Now the thing about San Marzano tomatoes is there are not a lot of seeds in them, and they're really quite dry. And so I think that's, I'm going to just pop these right into the food processor so that we can puree them. And just take this and we'll puree that as we go. So this, I really didn't want to start this until all of you were here. The most I got done is I was separating it. So if you can see, These San Marzanos are quite meaty, and there's very few seeds in them, which is what makes them really great for sauce. They're not so good for other things because what happens is that the flavor, like if I were eating raw right off the vine, I would, hey Heather, how are you? I would definitely eat the cherry tomatoes off the vine as opposed to the San Marzanos, because the San Marzanos just don't have the kind of flavor that the cherry tomatoes have. And I think that's why these are the most desired tomatoes for making sauce. Also, I will tell you that I did learn that San Marzano tomatoes are a style of tomato, but real San Marzano tomatoes don't come out of Nanny Bubby's garden. This style of tomato grown in San Marzano, Italy is truly San Marzano tomatoes, and these are just San Marzano styles, but grown in Nanny Bubby's garden. So I did learn that. So I'm very careful, but they are the seeds did say San Marzanos. And now this has a lot of seeds and kind of meaty, and very liquidy, and I'm just going to take that out. The recipe that I am using today, and just so you know, I'm going to make sauce today, and then these other barrels of tomatoes are going to be ready on Wednesday, because in this heat they're going to ripen very, very quickly. So I've got all these, and then I'm going to give them all away to family and friends and whatever I can. But what I'm going to do today is, there's two different styles of recipes, and since this is my first time making them, and so I am going to try both styles. I'm not going to post these recipes in Gather until after Wednesday, when I can taste both sauces and see how they turn out. So let me puree these. So let me tell you the two styles. Number one, the first style, is just to dice up half the tomatoes, puree the other half, and put them in the sauce, put a little bit of water in, and let them cook. That's number one. Number two is to take these San Marzano tomatoes, immerse them in boiling water for about 1.5 to 2 minutes, take them out, put them in an ice bath, and then peel the skins, then take out the seeds, and etc. And it is a really long work process. And I don't mind it. But I don't know if the residual result is any better than doing it where we're just not taking out the skins. So that's why I'm going to do it both ways, and whichever way I think is best, then I will post the recipe in Gather. So with a 1 or a 3, or just a 1, type of 1 if you've actually made your own sauce before. And while you're all taking a minute to type that, I am going to puree these and get them into the pot. Here we go. Okay, so we can get these. Well, never fails. I do that all the time. Drop the inner cores of all this. Okay, all right, so I'm just going to take the puree, which is quite lovely, and I'm just going to get that started so that the onions don't burn. There we go. The onions are translucent, and I'm not sure if I saw Lucy come. Okay, so Frank has made sauce, Cynthia has made sauce, Judy Woods, Roseanne. Okay, so you guys are farther ahead. So what tips do you have for me? Because this, as you know, is my very first time. So what tips? Do you peel them, or do you just put them in with the skins? So go ahead. Start the conversation. Tell me what you do, so I know. Just curious to know what you guys do. And Judy, I'm curious because Judy is, I think Judy was born in Italy, in Tuscany, in another life. She just loves everything Italian, I'm sure. So Judy, what do you do? Do you peel yours? Exactly. And Frank, I mean, Brooklyn wouldn't be Brooklyn without matzo balls or spaghetti, right? I mean, so I know Frank has made sauce. And by the way, shout out to Frank. Frank is going to be my guest on Friday. He is going to talk about his cookbook. I know he's dying to do it. How's the sound, Tom? You've been listening? Okay. You know we had problems at the beginning? No? Okay, he missed it. Yeah, we had problems. But my gatherers told me right away, and those headsets are just going in the garbage. That's all I can tell you. So, let's see. Roseanne, with the skin. Okay. Frank, Judy. Who else? Cynthia, with the skin or without? So it's interesting because it's going to be a lot of work. So Frank says, peel, don't incorporate too much air in blender, a sauce will turn pink. Yes, that is true. It did just turn pink on me, Frank. That is exactly what happened. And that happens with an immersion blender as well, if you blend it too much. So I will not blend it too much, not aerate it too much. Thanks for that tip. That is exactly what happened. And now I know why it happened. And Cynthia said, the first time I did it without the skins and without the seeds, because I think that most tomato sauces do not include them. Now I have to tap this just a minute to see more, because I cannot see everything she wrote, so give me a minute. It won't. There we go. The second time I was lazy, and I kept them with the skins and the seeds. And Cynthia, how did it turn out? That's what we want to know. When you got lazy, was it any worse than how you started? That is the question, right? So how many of you are going to join in the contest this week, starting this week? You're going to be posting in Gather with Nanny Bubby your snacks and or appetizers for our summer barbecue tournament, right? And also, let's put in some games. What are like fabulous summer barbecue games? Like volleyball, pool volleyball, croquet. If you've got a big yard, you can do croquet. What else? Just throwing these on. Look at how many of these I have to go through. I still have all of these to go through, so you guys had better actually truly help me. Maybe I can just throw them right in. How about that? How about if I just throw them in and puree them, and then we'll chop and dice the cherry ones. So let's try that. What do you think, Frank? Think that'll work? I think it will. You don't load it up too much. I mean, this really is a process, isn't it? And you got to admire those who make tomato sauce from scratch, or when they did it in Italy. It's really an amazing a lot of work. And also, too, what is amazing about Italians is that they learned very early in food making that lectins can be not desirable for digestion. So lectins are what is in the seeds of the tomatoes and also the skins. And it's very interesting that for Italian cooking, they always say remove the seeds and the skins. So if you have digestive issues, it actually could be because of lectins. And I don't know if you know that or not, but I'm here to tell it to you. And so you might want to, think about that. And that could be why they go through that process. So let's see. So Cynthia says she used different tomatoes both times from her garden. And the first time was extremely tedious because she had way too many, just like me. Cherry tomatoes, and I was scoring them, parboiling them, and peeling off all the skins. Yep. I know. Got it happening here too. Okay, so let's see what happens now. I will pause. There we go. Okay, I don't think I did too much of this. I just put them in whole. That was good. There we go. Off and running. Okay, now we're going to add that garlic so that it can cook into the sauce. Now I'll tell you something else I'm going to add in this. This looks really great. So let me just turn this for you so that you can see. Lisa says she doesn't peel the skin, but it separates. I pick it out of the sauce. Well, there you go. That's a great idea. Okay, so here we go. We're putting in the garlic, and we are Now here is something else I'm putting into this sauce. And I'm putting it in whole. So one of the great things and one of the tricks that I learned is that when it comes to making sauce, I always take the rind of the fresh Parmesan cheese that I hand grate, and I throw the rind into the sauce. Because what that does is it just gives it a richness of flavor. So I'm putting the rind in of the Parmesan. I'm also putting in these whole basil leaves. I'm not going to chop them up. You can chop up when you're ready to serve it and just sprinkle it on top, but I love that these just go in, and when you're done cooking, you're able to take out the basil, the Parmesan rind, and I am putting in fresh oregano. So let me just take this, go the opposite direction, and we're just peeling that right off, going the other direction. Got a clog there. Comes right off into your hand. And then I'm going to take this and just really chop it up the best way that I know how, and then just mincing this fresh oregano up. So dried oregano is actually more potent than fresh oregano, I am told. And so I don't hesitate if I put too much of this in. So there's a stem. We'll get that stem out. And now I'm going to take this beautiful rosemary, and I'm just going to take the very end of it, chop it off. There we go. And I'm just going to take that whole thing, and I'm just going to lay that in there. Now, here's one more thing that I know that when I use canned tomatoes, yes, I sauteed garlic and oil, Lisa, and I used the jalapeno olive oil from Temecula Olive Oil Company. This was initially Lucy's recipe, and so she said use that jalapeno olive oil, and so that's what I did. Now I have one more secret to tomato sauce. So since I don't have my headset because I have to take it off, here is the secret to great tomato sauce. So a lot of people add sugar into their sauce because of the acid, and I don't. I add a carrot. There we go. There's one more in there. I think I'll add just 2 more sprigs. There we go. And that, as it cooks, now at the end of the day, this is going to cook for 2-3 hours, and at the end I'm going to take out all of these things that are whole right out of the pot before I serve it or before I put it into jars. So let's continue on. Now that we realize that we've got a good thing going by not even having to dice up these San Marzanos, I'm just going to throw them in whole. I don't know if you can see that, but let me stand over here and I will, there we go. Okay. And so Judy said, I use 28-ounce San Marzano tomatoes and crush in your hands. Recipe from my Italian chef friend for his mom's ragu. I love that. I love that. I have always used canned tomatoes. This is my first time using fresh tomatoes, and by the way, these were all picked this morning right out of the garden, and I had to separate them. So my goal is taking out all of the tomatoes that were blushing. So some of them, let me show you, some of them are still very green. Hold on. So I learned from my farmer that it is called blushing when, if you can see, this is a green tomato, but you can see where it has started to turn a little bit white, which the farmers call blushing. And as long as they are blushing, you can take tomatoes off the vine and they will start to ripen. If they are green and haven't started to blush, they will never turn red. I also needed to separate these because even though this is starting to turn, in a day or two it'll be bright red, but it's just not ripe enough yet to put in the sauce. So the first thing I had to do this morning And just like I mentioned earlier, in January, right before the freeze, I took my tomato plant down to nothing and harvested everything that was on it. And now this weekend I was doing the same thing. I just found all kinds of these tomatoes that I felt that needed to come off the vine before we walk into 116-degree weather next week. Or not next week, this week. It was, it wasn't quite this week yet when I started doing it. And because I was very concerned that everything that was there I was going to lose. So, okay, let's puree these down. There we go. So let me see what So that's the other key to this. It's interesting, Lisa, that you mentioned tomato paste, because I actually have tomato paste that I specifically bought because I'm going to put in, here we go, I'm going to be putting in about 3 tablespoons of tomato paste along with all of this, just to make it very, very, here's a whole tomato that found its way in and never got crushed. Okay, here's another couple pieces, that's fine. We can always hit this with an immersion blender as well. So I think I put too many in here. So let's figure this out. So let me grab the tomato paste, and thank you for mentioning that, because that was the key to all of this. The Parmesan rind, I think, is just key to this, and tomato paste kind of cheats your way into the richness of the sauce. So let me find where I put that. I know I put it somewhere, so hold on for me. I am not finding it. Did I put it on the table? I don't know. I had a bunch of stuff being moved around today, so I will find it. I promise you I'll shoot a picture as I'm putting it in. So let's continue on with just a few more of these San Marzanos, and then I'm going to go ahead and hand chop the cherry tomatoes, because I think the cherry tomatoes, I'm going to taste them because I am addicted to them. I love going out into the garden, and I love taking tomatoes off the vine. I love when my granddaughter comes, and I love that she pulls them right off the vine and eats them too. So yes, so I'm going to just go right back through that recipe and just say that these are the things I put in for specific purposes, and at the end I take them out. The Parmesan rind I take out when it's done cooking. The carrot I take out when it's done cooking. The entire rosemary stem I take out when it's done cooking, and the basil stems I take out when it's done cooking. Yes. So let's see. And just like Frank said, that it will turn pink if you pulse it too much. And this did turn a little bit pink. But let's go ahead and turn this around. Okay, there we go. Yep, okay. So this pot is getting full, but not all that full. And it's still a really rich and beautiful. Now the thing about it is I can see a ton of seeds in this sauce. So I don't know if maybe putting it through a sieve when it's done, I don't know if it's going to be an issue, but it might be why I might go with the thought that, taking the seeds out, when you use the canned San Marzano tomatoes, you do not have seeds in it because they take them out. Let's see, that's gorgeous. Thanks, Roseanne. Thank you. Okay, cleaning up like Wolfgang Puck says. Just clean up your mess so you can move on to the next. Okay, there we go. All right. So, and just to remind you guys, boy, I have to put my order in tomorrow for Temecula olive oil because I am completely out. But I started this with the fresh jalapeno olive oil, and it's just, even though this is now empty, it's absolutely fantastic. Oh my gosh. Absolutely delicious. Okay, so here we've got the cherry tomatoes, and let's see, some are riper than the others, so I'm gonna pull these out. And I've got a whole barrel of them right here. Look at how beautiful and red these are. So let me take these, we'll get them on here, and we will cut them up. I think I'm gonna use a grapefruit spoon, and I'm going to take out the seeds from the cherry tomatoes because there's actually really quite a lot. And I wish I could spot my tomato paste somewhere in this kitchen, but I keep looking up to find it and I can't. So we'll put it in after I say goodbye to all of you. Hey, Tawny. Huge. Yes, huge what? Tell me what you're saying huge to. Huge, huge harvest, right? I think that's probably what you're saying. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's the San Marzanos over there. Cherry tomato got away. So let's take it here and cut it up. So, okay, I'm reminding everybody in Gather, and we'll post the contest rules, and we'll post that we're starting today. This week is Summer Barbecue Tournament, appetizers and snacks. Appetizers and snacks. So snap a picture, find something that you're doing fresh, put some great ideas and write in the narrative what you've done in the past and what you love, and let us just post it all in there. And then let me get the grapefruit spoon. Hold on, I'm coming. There we go. Okay, so we've got it. The container, we'll just use the food processor, and I will take out the innards of these cherry tomatoes. There we go. And just get them cut up. Okay, you ready for me to taste one? So good. I'm telling you, that almost has a sweet and then salty. It's amazing. These coming off the vine 6 hours ago at 8 o'clock this morning. They were absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. So there we go. So Frank said that on Friday when we do the interview with him, he's going to do a barbecue recipe. That's great. And so Frank, it would be barbecue snacks or appetizers. Then next week we're going to do barbecue salads, right? Salads that you would serve at a barbecue. I mean, my pasta salad is always a winner. So what have you got in your tool chest, everybody? Just tell me. And let's get engaged in the contest. So let me just repeat the rules again for those of you who came late. Every week we'll pick a winner, and that winner gets to cook their recipe with me on Wednesday. And then we'll have 6 winners at the end, and then we will, I don't know, we will either take a vote or we'll draw names, or we'll do both. We'll take a vote on whose recipes were best of those winners, and we'll take and we'll pull a random name as well, and you get to win a gift package from Temecula Olive Oil Company, and you get to design it yourself. I'll work with you to design it, and that gift is coming from me. So that is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Okay. So let's see, Karen Diamond is watching. Hey Karen, how are you? Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. We're making fresh tomatoes and tomato sauce. And we're dicing up these cherry tomatoes that I just picked out of my garden just a few hours ago. So there's sort of both. Oh boy. So this is some process, isn't it, guys? And it takes a while, but you have to be patient. And you know, I posted this on Sunday because I have a deck of 52 affirmation cards that I wrote, which I am actually getting published into a card deck, and so that you can buy them and maybe just look at each affirmation as you start your week as well. But the point of the affirmation cards is that a lot of times we walk into the kitchen and we're tired, and we feel sometimes that people don't appreciate what it is that we're doing for them in the kitchen. And a lot of times we're there not only for ourselves, but just for the fact that we want our families to appreciate us, what we do and how we do it for them. I know when I cook for my family, I always wanted to be appreciated for it, and I guess I was so bad at it, it was hard to be appreciated. But the affirmation cards are really, truly meant to bring you into the present moment, meant to say, look, trust your intuition. What's going on in the kitchen and what you do, it's like, where else does that come up in your life? Where else are you not trusting your intuition about what to do if you run into trouble? Or what to do if there's something you don't have that you were planning on, that you've realized that you didn't have in your kitchen in order to complete the recipe as written. What do you do? And I think it's all of those things that cooking really is meant to bring you spiritually into the present moment, because connecting with our food is one of our most basic things in life. Our ancestors didn't drive through the drive-through at Carl's Jr. to get a bacon, cheese, and hickory smoked burger 3 times a day. It just didn't happen. And when basically you take the time to actually work with your food, touch your food, taste your food, smell your food, visually see your food, you're actually preparing your stomach juices for what's to come. And that's the whole purpose of cooking. If you're in the drive-thru and you're in a long line, what you're doing is getting anxious, and that anxiety is not preparing your stomach for what's to come. So, the affirmation cards that I post every Sunday are meant to really get you into the present moment and in the thought process, and to actually ask you and remind you to spiritually connect to your food, because there are, number one, people who are making your food, or let's say making it, growing your food, families that are making sacrifices in order that you could just run to Albertsons and put food on your table. And number two, it truly is an amazing bounty from the earth. And Mother Nature does her job so perfectly. And I think that when you look at Mother Nature and you see what she brings forth, that it just opens your mind, your heart. It opens just every piece of you. You are a part of Mother Nature, and look how perfect you are. And so when you see perfection in Mother Nature, it gives you self-confidence to understand that you are a part of that divine process. I've heard it said that you are a masterpiece, and boy, let me tell you, each time I listen to any of you or talk to any of you, that you are a masterpiece, and to me that means that you are all a piece of the master. And I just love that. I love that from a divine point of view, that we are all so individual. There's not one of us that are the same. And honestly, I am reminded by that when I look at these tomatoes, right? So I'm just going to point down at the tomatoes that I have left here, and I'm just going to tell you that if you look down, there's not one tomato that is shaped identically here. One's a little larger, one's a little rounder and a little smaller, one's a little flat. This one is flat. One came off the bush with its stem, and no matter what, I couldn't get it out. So there you go, that's out. And I am reminded that all of us that inhabit this time together, that we are all masterpieces, just like the food we eat. And that our goal here at Nanny Bubby and Gather with Nanny Bubby is to get engaged and really learn to love our food. I spent a great part of my life hating my food because I felt I had a weight issue. And the more that I resisted the food, the worse it got. And so I began to resist cooking. I began to resist eating. I thought that I would be thinner if I didn't cook, and I wasn't always around food. And strangely enough, the minute I allowed myself to truly connect to the earth and to connect to all of this amazing beauty, which, you know what, like, I never really talk like this when I'm cooking with all of you, but the fact is that when you have to sit here and dice tomatoes for as long as I've been dicing them, and thank you all for watching and hanging in there with me, but the truth is that I feel so much more connected. I feel so much more connected, even though I'm sure my back is going to hurt at the end of this cooking segment. But the fact is that I feel so connected to the earth. When I can walk outside and pick what I grew and then put it all together in a big pot and know that I'm going to have, 2-3 months worth of going into my freezer and pulling this out and sharing it with my family and friends. And I will remember the day that I spoke so raw and honestly about my eating issues, and how actually the minute I started cooking, how I lost weight. I didn't gain weight. And it was a big healing for me. Cooking was just something that healed my soul. And I think it was because it was something that I was always supposed to be doing my whole life, and I resisted it. Anyway, now I'm starting to cry, so I don't want to do that. I'm going to pop a tomato in my mouth. So good. So good. So, they're salty. I don't know why. They are salty, but they are salty. There's like this taste of amazing natural salt in these tomatoes. It's just incredible. I didn't notice that before. Okay, let's give this, I only have a few more to go, and then I'm going to find, and you should see just how beautiful this is. So I know Frank said that if you, aerate them too much in the food processor. Look at that. Let me move this out of your way. Oh my gosh, look at that. Can you believe this? Isn't that just gorgeous? Okay. Look at that. It's so beautiful. And I really wish, the tomato paste will actually make it get just a little bit darker if I can only find it so I can put it in. And I'm looking around to see if I can find it. Give me 1 second. I need to walk over to this table and see if I can find it, which I cannot find it. Okay. Well, I will put it in later. I'll shoot a picture of me putting it in later. Okay, we've only got a few more tomatoes to go. It is filling up. Can you imagine when we first, hey Janet Castellano, nice to have you there. Oh my gosh, Lisa, thank you so much. It smells as good as it looks. It looks amazing. And so let me just turn you and let's get, how many do I have? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So let's just get these cut. And look at how beautiful this looks. So let's go over the tournament one more time. Your favorite sauce ever. Well, that's amazing. Yeah. So I have put in this sauce, Janet, since you just joined us, I'll repeat. There are the rinds of Parmesan cheese in here, which is great. And I will be pulling those out. There's about 1.5 carrots in here. I'll pull that out also. There is whole stems of basil, which I will also pull out. There's a very large stick, and I do mean stick, of rosemary. And speaking of sticks of rosemary, how many of you saw what Roseanne posted over the weekend, the marinated fontina cheese stuck onto rosemary? I got to tell you what, I am making that for Tom's birthday. His birthday is next week. And that is going to be my appetizer. So I got to hurry up and put in my Temecula olive oil recipe, because I am completely out. Completely out. And I'd intended to buy it when I was in Laguna. But by the time I got back from the ranch, the store was closed, and I didn't want to, you know, buy it at the ranch because I didn't want him to think I came there to get a, you know, to get anything for free. So I just, I just felt funny, so I didn't buy any when I was at the ranch. But I've got to go online and buy it now, just as long as I've got Confessions of Marla Letitia here. Confessions of Nanny, Bubby. Okay, there we go. All right, last few, here they come. So, here, let's see. I stole that idea. You stole what idea? What idea did you steal, Frank? And now I'm just breaking them up with my fingers instead of dicing them. I mean, they're going to cook, right? They're going to be absolutely fantastic. So what idea did you steal, Frank? And let's talk about the tournament. The tournament is the barbecue, summer barbecue tournament, brought to us by Teresa. It was initially, grapes with the rosemary. I don't blame you. I'm going to steal that idea for Tom too. But I've got the delicious lemon olive oil, but I think it was the vinegar. I can't remember what vinegar. If you're still here, Roseanne, what vinegar did you use? I can't remember. Okay, there we go. All the way in. So good. Okay, so I'm going to let this simmer. I'm going to find where I put the tomato paste. So Lisa, thank you for mentioning that. And I will get that tomato paste in. I'm going to put in about fresh apple balsamic vinegar. Yeah, that was amazing. With the lemon. I'll tell you what else is good. The fresh apple is fantastic. So I know you've all been ordering, and I know it's been amazing, and you've all been posting pictures. And by the way, if you can save those boxes for me, anybody that I might run into and see you, Roseanne, if you can save, if you get your boxes before I see you on Wednesday, I'd love to have those boxes if you're not going to be using them. But let's see, Janet says, do you ever try parboiling and peeling them? That's how my dad made it. So, Janet, here's the thing. You're a little bit late to the party here, so we have a long conversation about that. Here's the deal. This recipe is the non-parboiling and the non-seeding and skinning recipe. And so on Wednesday, is it Wednesday or Thursday? I can't remember which day it is. But I'm going to cook the rest of them, which will be right by then, by parboiling them, throwing them into an ice bath, and skinning them. And so, and then I'm going to tell you which recipe I think is the best. So, anyway. So yes, we are going to do that, I think either Wednesday or Thursday. Does anybody remember what day I said? Because I know it was right when I said it, but I actually don't remember. Tomorrow we're doing Marcona almonds. So Brenda is going to join me. She has an amazing recipe on how you can make your own Marcona almonds. And all kinds of seasonings that you can use, and we were prepping them earlier today. Yes, okay, I just don't remember what day. And Roseanne has 2 other boxes, so thank you so much, Roseanne. All right, I'm getting down to it. I might stick my spoon in there and just see how they're coming so far, but I know the richness of the tomato paste is going to make a difference. So there we go. Let me give this a stir. It's looking so good. Let me turn that up. You know, it really is looking amazing. Look at that. And I can't believe what a big pot I made. It's just amazing. And I gotta tell you, there's something so invigorating for me to think that I pulled these off the vines this morning so that I'd get them off those trees before this heat came, because they're not gonna last even a day. And that right now I am putting them in a pot and cooking them down. And if that isn't a miracle, I don't know what is. Let's see. How should we hashtag our appetizer entries for the tournament? Good question. What should we hashtag? What should we hashtag? Oh, summer barbecue tournament. Does that work, you guys? Summer barbecue tournament. What do you think? Hashtag. So in Gather, you're going to post your appetizers. What do you think? Give me some feedback on that. why is this on Lug website? I don't know why it's on Lug website. You tell me. It's a cooking show. So I have no idea why it's on. If you came here trying to find Lug, we're not here. Although I own a lot of Lug, I can tell you that. But I don't know why it's on the Lug website. If that's how you found me, that's kind of crazy, right? So somebody must have tagged. Let's see, summer barbecue turning. Okay, I like that. Anybody else have an idea? We can use them all. Anybody else? Summer barbecue turning. What else? Summer barbecue tournament. We could use both of those, the tourney and the tournament. Just use them both. Hashtag Nanny Bubby. Hashtag luggage. I don't know. That's kind of bizarre. But thanks for asking and thanks for telling us. I don't know. Somebody must have tagged me or tagged Nanny Bubby in the Lug website. So I can't tell you, but I do own several Lug bags. And so let's give them a plug. If you guys want something fabulous to travel with as far as makeup bags, they're my favorite makeup bags, I can tell you. They're absolutely my favorite. And also my overnight bag. And of course I cover it up with my rider band. So, yep, I'm a big traveler, but I can't tell you how I ended up on the Lug website. So, but I'm a Lug user. All right, I've got 3 tomatoes to go. Hashtag Frank wins again. Only Frank, if you've got to post real things that are happening. You can't go into trademark photos and start posting those, okay, Frank? And if you do that, we're going to have to just put you back on the show again to get you to stop doing it. No, I'm just kidding. Let's not cheat for Frank, but yep, everybody was like, when I pulled your name, everybody was, I knew that was going to happen. But I didn't know it was going to happen, but I knew it was going to happen because there was, no cheating going on here on my end. So, okay. So at least we know Frank has a good sense of humor. I'm looking forward to meeting Frank. I don't know him. I'm not sure how he found Nanny Bubby's daily cooking segment, so we'll ask him that. Yeah, haha, funny Frank. At least we know he's got a sense of humor. Okay, here we go. All right. One more to go. Yay. So all the, it's funny because when you first start cutting them, I was very dainty and I was using the grapefruit spoon to get them out. At the end of the day, you just open them up, put your thumbs in them, pull it out, and now I'm not even dicing them. I'm actually tearing them. Just tearing them up in little dices. I mean, why use a knife? That's what God made thumbs for, right? Okay. All right. Here we go. That's so bizarre that I'm showing up on the Lug website. Okay, last tomato, but you know what? I'm gonna eat it. What do you think? Oh boy. Still that salty flavor. Let's see. So Teresa, the jalapeno olive oil, number 1, is that I really didn't have enough. I only had just a very little jalapeno olive oil left. So I wasn't able to put much in. I would say, it was only about filled to about here. So I would say that was like about a quarter of a cup. And I put it in, and I don't think I would have used any more. If I needed any more olive oil than that, I actually would have used the regular olive oil because I didn't want to make it too spicy. But I thought about what Lucy said about using it, and the reason I went ahead and used it is because I felt like it would add a depth of flavor to this particular sauce. And because the San Marzanos don't have as much flavor, I mean, these cherry tomatoes are unbelievable. I really wish I could put one in every single one of your mouths because they're sweet and at the same time they're salty. I mean, I've never tasted anything like it. And it's amazing to think that when I was a little girl, I hated tomatoes. I mean, I hated them. Okay, so we're going to sign off. But before we do, what time is it? Oh my God, I've been here an hour, so we need to get busy. Week 1 starts today. You're going to be posting appetizers and snacks for barbecue. Hashtag summer barbecue tourney, Tourney, or hashtag summer barbecue tournament. Okay, week 2, June 21st through the 25th. Oh, on Friday, I'm going to pick the winner on June 18th of this week's summer barbecue tournament snacks or appetizers, okay? And you can come on live with me on Wednesday and cook with me next Wednesday the recipe that, I mean, you can post more than one so you can decide which one you want to cook with me, okay? Week 2, June 21st through the 25th is salads, barbecue salads. Friday, I'm gonna pick the winner. The next Wednesday, that winner gets to cook with me, only if you want, and if not, you can just come on live and just type your suggestions to me. Okay, week 3, June 28th through July 2nd, main dish, okay? And same thing, Friday we pick the winner, Wednesday you get to come cook with me. Week 5, July 12th through the 16th, we're gonna wait a minute, I think I skipped week 4, which is July 5th through the 9th, which is side dishes. Friday winner, Wednesday cook with me. Week 5, July 12th through the 16th, desserts. Yay, how fun is that? And week 6, July 21st through the 25th are cocktails, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic punches and fun things like that. And again, same rules. Friday winner, Wednesday cook with me. And that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this today. Either Wednesday or Thursday, I don't remember which day, I'm actually going to be cooking this, so stand by. If this was an hour, I'm gonna have to parboil and skin and then put everything into the sauce. So come prepared to stay for a while, because who knows how that's gonna go, right? All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Megan's not here, which means I have to clean this up by myself, but it was all worth it. Believe me, it was all so worth it. Love you so much. On the count of 3. Love you guys so much. Thank you always for being here every day. You inspire me. And you give great ideas. So this great idea brought forth by Teresa, helped me expanded by Roseanne, was just absolutely awesome. So much. So thank you guys so much. Send your ideas, throw them in Gather. If you can think of next ideas or what you're doing, it is exciting for me to see this community, this amazing community of masterpieces, each one of you a piece of the master. Love you so much. Hi, Verica. So nice to see you. Okay, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go out and spread love like butter. Butter, everybody. See you tomorrow. Marcona Almonds. Bye, everybody.